This is a Hisense ULED TV, and this is the world's first color e-ink smartphone from Hisense. When every major smartphone brand is on a race to produce phones with colorful high refresh rate displays, Hisense has made this phone with a color e-ink display, which I've come across in CES this year, and I find it to be a rather interesting phone to use it in real life. So here it is. This is the Hisense A5 Pro CC, which I imported it all the way from China, and here's my review after using it for a month. The unit that I got is the top spec variant that comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, which costs 1,999 Chinese yuan in China. This converts to around 1,217 ringgit or $295, which isn't affordable by all means, and you really shouldn't just buy if you aren't sure what you're getting into. First, this isn't a pretty smartphone compared to what you can get these days, as it comes in a plain black color finish and a rather dated front face. Though I like the phone's polycarbonate build that makes it very comfortable to hold, and it doesn't feel heavy even after several hours of reading. Despite its not so impressive design, the phone still comes with some practical hardware features such as a reliable physical fingerprint reader, USB-C, a headphone jack, and a customizable shortcut key on the left. The phone also takes 2 nano SIMs with dual 4G support, and one of the slots can be used to expand storage. Since the phone isn't sold in global markets, it doesn't ship with Google Apps pre-installed, and despite numerous attempts, I wasn't able to hack GMS or find a custom ROM that comes with it. So do bear in mind that you will be spending quite a bit of time on finding alternative apps if you decide to use this as your main phone. Although I'm mainly using it as my secondary phone, I have to admit that the user experience can be both enjoyable and frustrating. For one, the color e-ink display is very comfortable to look at in whatever lighting conditions, especially when I'm using outdoors under harsh sunlight, where most phone displays will hardly be visible. On the other hand, the slow refresh rate and 4096 display are things that makes using the phone less enjoyable. Although you can technically make images look sharper by compromising smoothness or the other way around, it's still pretty frustrating when scrolling and transitions aren't as smooth as a typical LCD display. You can technically play games and videos without any issues, but you really don't want to. What's also bad is that you will have issues navigating around apps that has dark UI elements, such as Spotify, which I totally could not see menus and text properly. If you can live with all the hassle of that display and merely want to use it as a web browsing and reading device, the phone will deliver an overall good experience with the Unisoc T610 octa-core chip. I have no issues texting properly as the touch response is better than most e-readers. One thing that surprised me is the phone's headphone output, which I find it to produce a clean and powerful sound that you don't usually get. One thing the phone can do that other e-readers can't is taking photos. It's a typical smartphone anyway, and it comes with a 30 megapixel main camera, which thankfully doesn't take photos in 4K colors, and it works fine for social media postings. There is an 8 megapixel selfie camera too, if you need to make video calls, and it looks decent as well in terms of image quality. I have no problems making the phone work with Malaysian networks as it supports all the LTE bands, and there hasn't been any drop network issues during the period. If you are thinking to use it like your main smartphone, the phone's 4000 mAh battery will easily last you up to 2 days before requiring a charge. Otherwise, it could go up to a week if you leave it on standby with 4G turned on. Ultimately, this device is made for an extremely niche audience, and I think it is a good alternative to an e-reader if you don't want to own too many devices. By all means, it is great to see the development of color e-ink displays to made it so far. This is actually a pretty decent color e-ink display by all means. But it's just that this kind of screen technology will not be adopted by many brands, let alone be impressed by consumers. So my advice is that you really got to understand what you're getting into if you are thinking to import the Hisense A5 Pro CC for the sake of using it as an e-reader or even as your main phone, because this thing doesn't come with Google Apps installed. You gotta find alternatives to your app solutions just like a typical Chinese smartphone. So that's all for my review on the Hisense A5 Pro CC, the world's first color e-ink phone. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and be sure to subscribe to us KLGadgetTV for more tech videos coming right out. I'm Warren with KLGadgetTV, and I will see you in our next video.